Welcome to my channel, Treasure Builders with Shola Morofolo. I'm so happy to be back even after the short break. And I want to use this medium to say a very big thank you to everyone for your birthday wishes, for your calls, for your messages. We'll all be celebrated in Jesus' name. In the last series, we looked at physical developmental milestones in children. In this series, we'll be looking at the cognitive development of children. And when we talk about cognitive development, we are basically looking at how their brain develops and what to expect even at each level of brain development in children. So when we talk about brain development, we are looking at cognitive development as well. And in this particular episode, we'll be having a brief introduction on what brain development actually entails. Brain development actually begins during the prenatal stage. That is when the baby is still in the womb. The brain of the child begins to develop. So it's not until a child is born before the brain develops. Brain development starts right in the womb. And the brain and spinal column of the child are part of the first set of organs in the body that are usually formed. The systems that are usually formed in the body, the brain and the spinal cord. And even before the 16th week of pregnancy, the baby in the womb is already sending signals. The brain of the baby in the womb is already sending signals even to other parts of the body. And that is why we find that even while babies are in the womb, there are usually lots of movements. They kick, they move. Peradventure, a child is not moving or kicking, even in the stomach, then it's a source of concern. It shows that something is wrong even with the brain development, because it is expected that at this level, at this stage, their brain should be sending signals to other parts of the body. And according to Elliot, an educationist, he said that at birth, that the newborn's brain is roughly 1/4 of an adult-sized brain, but it is already performing many life-sustaining functions. And part of the life-sustaining functions include the grasping, the sucking. Nobody teaches the baby, a newborn baby, how to suck. They automatically learn it because the brain is already sending signal even to the mouth to tell them that yes, you have to start sucking. So basically they start using their senses. In this discussion, we are going to leverage on the theory of Piaget, and it's Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Piaget is a Swiss biologist and psychologist, and according to him, he believed that the environment in which a child develops plays a very significant role in the brain development of such a child. Apart from the environment, he also talked about the biological factors too. And when we talk about biological factors, we are talking about the genes, hereditary genes, or some individual differences, individual makeup in the body of the child. According to him, all children have the same sequence of development, but the biological and environmental factors create a difference in how the brain of different children develop cognitively. That's what explains why some children's brain development is faster and while some are slower. It's the biological and environmental factors that are responsible. Now let me give you a life experience, and I'll be using myself even as a case study, as an example. While I was growing up, the family had the opportunity to move to another part of the country, to another city in Nigeria. And in that city, they had their own peculiar language. I'm not going to mention the name of the city, but it's the language. It's so common, it is used practically everywhere, even within the school system. So being a young child in that kind of environment, I just started speaking that particular language as well. It got so bad that when we got back to Lagos, I found it difficult to mix and interact properly in the school system because I couldn't speak English properly. So it took lots of efforts on the part of my parents and my teachers to get me back on the right track. And this scenario that I just painted happens a lot, even to children whose parents find themselves moving from one part of the world or one part of the country to another, even apart from moving from one part of the country to another, even changing schools. When children are moved from a particular learning environment to another learning environment, it affects their cognitive development. For instance, a child that was moved from a learning environment where it was a playway, where what was used was playway method, an interesting environment, to another one where it's just teacher does all the talking, children are just writing notes and writing notes. It's definitely going to affect the child. So changing of environment also affects the cognitive development of the children. Let me also give another scenario. We have two children, A and B. When A leaves school, he moves straight to the mother's office, while B moves straight home. While A is in the mother's office, is on his own. They are there till around 7, does his homework himself, no attention from anybody. On the way home, he's sleeping in the car. By the time they get home, he just manages to eat, is tired, and he just goes to bed. Meanwhile, when B gets home, the mom is at home, pays attention to the homework, he rests, he eats, is allowed little time even to watch TV, and he goes to bed early. When they get back to school, we'll find out that B actually performs better because he has rested enough, his brain is ready even to assimilate new topic for the day. Unlike A, who is just, the brain is tired, he is physically and as well as cognitively tired. I just want to employ parents, even if you have such a situation where your child has to come to probably your office while you close, it's important to create an enabling atmosphere, an enabling environment for that child to thrive in. If you cannot give the personal assistance that the child needs, you can always engage someone that will offer that assistance, that will offer the service even to the child while you are busy doing something else. Then create an environment where the child can rest after doing his or her assignments, where the child can rest, and if possible, the child can play a little before you go home. And with this, it will help the child very well. So the environment plays a very significant role in how the children develop. Now, according to Piaget, he propounded 4 stages of cognitive development. We have the sensory motor stage. We have the pre-operation. Sensory motor stage is for 0 to 2 years. Pre-operational 2 to 7 years. We have the concrete operational 7 to 11 years, and the formal operational 11 to 15 years. For the purpose of our channel, because we are looking basically at the early childhood period in the life of the children, we just look at the sensory motor and the pre-operational years. And when we talk about the sensory motor stage, this is a period where children experience their environment using their senses. They use the eyes, move along with objects, trying to track objects with their eyes. They use their mouth in tasting to know whether this is sweet and this sour. And if you remembered in our discussion on the physical development, we know that at birth the children's taste buds are already developed and they can differentiate between sweet, sour and bitter taste, because the brain has already sent the signal to them. The brain has developed to that particular level that they can identify. So in this sensory motor stage, they are using their senses to explore. I don't know how many of us have this experience. When we light a candle and we see a child goes near the candle, we'll look at the candle, we'll smile, we'll go back, we'll want to touch the candle. You know, the child probably didn't know that the candle is going to his heart is going to burn him or her. The child will not know until the child actually touches it. And whether the child touches the flame of the candle lightly and it feels the burning sensation, you know, he has used the sense of touch. Nobody tells the child not to touch a candle that is lighted again. The child has already explored with the senses and the child already knows. So anytime the child sees the candle, the child knows that yes, this is hot, this is a no-go area. So they use the senses at this stage to explore their environment. Now when we get to the pre-operational stage, they build on those things that they have known at the sensory motor stage, and they begin to see things in the environment from their own point of view. And at this point, we usually look at them as being egocentric, because everything happening is just about me and me alone. Like I said, we are just going to look at the sensory motor and the operational stage. And so at this point, I'm going to come to the end of today's episode. And I want to employ us, if you are coming across this video for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe, you like, and you share. And for all my other subscribers, please make sure that you click on the like button, so that YouTube will not take us off the list of recommended videos. So if you've been blessed by the content of this particular video, please click on the like button, share with friends. And as you do, you are helping us even to spread this awareness about child developmental milestones. Thank you for watching.